People of Reddit who are anti-weed. Why? My friends that smoke make it their entire identity. They used to have hobbies and were passionate about things. Now they're content with whatever and everything has to be about smoking. Took me fucking years to shake off the years of weed I smoked. It's all personality. Not everyone that drinks becomes an alcoholic, but as a young kid I definitely was fed the line that it's not addictive and in a weird way good for you. Lots of pluses, but really did take over my life and personality. I was a heavy smoker for 6 years. Towards the end, I was going through one once every 2 weeks. Cannabis numbed me from my mental health issues. Any mind-altering substance can aggravate pre-existing mental instability, and weed certainly did for me. My problem with weed culture is that people who are heavy cannabis users think it is completely normal to smoke every day, to depend on this substance whenever they experience hardship. It is a very unhealthy habit that is entirely normalized. If you have a bad day or a bad interaction and your first instinct is I'm going to have a shot of vodka, that will help, you are not allowing yourself to process your feelings at all. It's the same thing for weed, but no one talks about it. Weed culture is really annoying, and my friends who peer pressure me into smoking it in spite of my repeated reminders that it doesn't agree with me are equally annoying. Go ahead yourself, just leave me out of it. I used to really love getting stoned, but eventually it got to the point where it just made me sad that I felt like I had to get stoned before I watched a movie, or played a game, or had a nice meal. I hated that I had a real fear that if I stopped I wouldn't enjoy those things anymore. January 1, 2022 I decided to give it up, ate my last edible and didn't order any more. I was undoubtedly a little more of a jerk for the first week or so, but then I caught myself laughing at a show and had this introspective moment of clarity where I realized I was still watching and enjoying movies, I was still enjoying food and games. It's been just over a year now and I don't really miss it at all, and I just kind of feel dumb about how important it used to be to me. I miss the ritual of packing a bowl and the act of puffing on a pipe, but I don't miss being high, truly. I still have dreams where I smoke cigarettes though. I don't think that will ever go away, and I haven't smoked them in 5 years. Don't smoke cigarettes, kids. I'm not against weed itself, I'm against people smoking it in the downstairs history hall bathrooms and making the entire downstairs smell like weed and then complaining about how no one likes them. 'Cause it's stinky, don't care if others do it, just not in my face PLS. I'm against marijuana use for people with a still developing brain. There are many studies to show why. Personally I find the lazy stoner type to be true in some cases, and I find those people to be very annoying. I have some friends and family like this who stay high most of the day. It's a minority though, I am sure, so that doesn't really inform my general opinion on weed, but it is something I steer clear from when developing new relationships. End number X200B. Edit, yes, feel the same way for drinking. Not anti-weed per se, but the pro-weed is acting like there's no side effects and it's this completely harmless thing which everyone will respond well to. That's the general consensus I get from very pro-weed people. Anti-weed? Nope. Anti-smoke? Definitely. The smell and the smoke are both triggers for asthma and allergies. It's just as bad as cigarettes to me. I'm only anti-weed for my personal consumption only. Why? Because I've smoked and eaten enough of it to put a down payment on 2 houses. I currently own 1 house, so I've decided to not use weed or any drugs moving forward to try and reclaim my life. Edit, thanks for the upvotes. I'm done talking about weed for the day. Edit 2, best comment on Reddit for January 17, 2023. Holy shit. Thank you everyone. I'm for legalizing it, but I'm definitely against the normalization and minimizing the negative aspects. No, you don't drive better when high. No, kids and teenagers shouldn't be allowed to get high. No, you don't need to be high in order to enjoy normal things. No, it's not somehow better to be high at work than to be drunk at work. I am anti-second-hand smoke, regardless they are from tobacco or weed. I don't care if anyone smokes anything, but I care about the air I breathe, and I don't want to smell the second-hand weed, which smells horrible and is bad for my lungs. If you want to smoke, you should smoke in designated areas or your private place. Do what you want, but I don't like the idea of being high, I don't like the smell, or smoking anything. I'm not anti-weed and I think it should be legalized. But I hate it when people treat it as this magic cure for everything that you can't get addicted to. Telling someone with mental illness that they should just smoke weed is dangerous. Even though it can help, it's easy to latch onto the feelings and make it an emotional addiction. Weed can also cause psychosis and lethargy, so it's definitely not as great as Reddit makes it to be. However, I also believe it's safer than alcohol, which is why I think it should be legalized. Which company could go out of business tomorrow and it would be to the betterment of this world? Express Scripts. Privatized prisons. Glitter manufacturers. The Church of Scientology. Someone should develop an app where you can scan a barcode and it will tell you if it's a Nestle product. By all the hate here, that app would soar. Any MLM bullshit. Ticketmaster. HSBC, one of the largest banks in the world, is a criminal enterprise. In 2012, the bank paid $1.9 billion to settle charges brought by U.S. authorities that it had failed to prevent money laundering by Mexican drug cartels. In 2013, HSBC was fined $1.92 billion by US and UK regulators for its role in the manipulation of the London Interbank Offered Rate, LIBOR, a benchmark interest rate. In 2014, the bank was charged by the US Department of Justice for violating sanctions against Iran, Sudan, and other countries. In 2018, the bank was charged by the US Department of Justice for violating the Bank Secrecy Act and anti-money laundering regulations. Also, Nestle. Joel Osteen's Ministries. Seems like the general consensus is Nestle, but it'll be weird and say DuPont. They're the reason every living human on the planet has forever chemicals running through their bloodstream. Everyone one that makes blindingly bright low-beam bulbs. Edit, r/fucky headlights agrees. Mark's Plumbing. Fucking TurboTax. Experian, Equifax, and /or TransUnion. Leeches on America. Nestle. News Corp. What is too expensive but shouldn't be? Bras. Who got away with making them so expensive? Funerals. Ticketmaster fees. All these ticketing site fees are out of control really. Those service fees. Lettuce is now way more expensive than avocados. What isn't expensive nowadays? Life in general is expensive. Dental work. Printer ink. Popeye's 8-piece with 4 biscuits and mashed potatoes equals $35 Troy, AL. Food. Insulin and AP pens. Adoption process overall. I agree there should be checks etc. The process itself is difficult and draining between legal fees etc. My young son said, why is it so expensive to do something good? He had a point. College tuition in the US. Life. A lot of medications. There's this one company that's trying to remedy this by selling every med with only a 15% markup. I haven't tried it myself, but it may be worth checking out at least. Most diabetes stuff on there costs $5 to $15. Remember when that life-saving HIV meds were sold at over $1,000? It's about $15 to $45 here. Maybe I'm being too optimistic, but it might help some people. Food, housing, gas, breathing.